I've seen films made for some really cheap budgets before. I've seen films made for $1 million. I've seen films made for $100,000. Hell, I've even seen films made for $7,000. But never in my life have I seen a film made for under $500. If you've read the title of this YouTube video, you know exactly what movie I'm talking about. Today we're talking about Creep. Not only was it made for $500, but it got a sequel, it made it to Netflix, and it won an award at a film festival. So today let's dive in and figure out how the fuck this film was made for such a cheap budget and made so incredibly well. In 2014, you probably heard a film called Paranormal Activity that also had many sequels to it. It was found footage made for an extremely low budget and was pretty much all jump scares and anxious waiting. Paranormal Activity capitalized on the handheld footage, the shakiness, and just the all-around uncertainty of found footage. The creators of Creep, Mark Duplass and Patrick Brice, had a really cool idea. What if we took the shooting style of Paranormal Activity and made it to an actual story, shot in the woods? Patrick and Mark went to the woods of California in a place called Crestline, California, and they started shooting the film. But here's the part that's gonna really confuse a lot of people. They actually didn't have a locked script. They had an outline of what they wanted to happen, and then they started shooting and honestly improvising most of the film. They did the ending multiple times, they experimented throughout the film, and they reportedly literally shot many scenes over and over and over again, experimenting with style, pacing, and overall tonality. The genius behind shooting on a handheld camera is that you don't need to have the perfect lighting, you don't need to have the perfect exposure. No, you literally can rely on the ugly and natural lighting of a handheld camera or a VHS camera. The creator of the film, Patrick Brice, actually said this film was made around real Craigslist encounters. Actual stories of people getting kidnapped, brutalized by these random people online. And so that was the base for the movie Creep. If you're not familiar with the story, pretty much a man is lost in the woods and knocks on someone's house. The person who answers the door was Mark Duplass, aka Creep. And the rest of the film is pretty much a journey through this encounter, in which you want the person who knocked on the door to escape, but you can never figure out if he's in real danger or not until, it's too late. The main character that Mark Duplass plays becomes friends with not just the character that knocked on his door, but with the audience as well. You strangely kind of like him, in a weird Stockholm Syndrome sense.
I feel like we should just do this right now because at the end of the day, it's going to be normal. So just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Trust me, that's not going to be anything weird at all.
And the horror in this film is the fact that any of us could have been tricked in hanging out with this guy. Even though me personally, I probably would have left pretty early on, I think a lot of us can relate that sometimes when you're stuck in the middle of the woods, you don't have much options. But what did Creep do so well to make it such a critically acclaimed and successful film? So I'm going to touch on a couple different techniques that Mark Duplass and Patrick Brice used to make this film so unforgettable and just freaky and creepy and all of that good stuff. So number one, the character actually doesn't find out that he's in trouble before the audience. No, in this film, the audience actually figures out that he's in trouble before he does. And as the audience, we're trying to root for him to please get the fuck out of there.
This guy is really dangerous. I mean, I think he could be an actual serial killer.
Yet the character keeps progressing forward and hanging out with this weirdo in the woods until it's too late.
I'm glad this happened. Buddy, you're gonna love this.
Hello, my name is Peach Fuzz. I might look like I eat you up.
This is a storytelling technique that we love to see in movies because as the audience, it makes us really have to work to try to figure out the puzzle pieces that are going on in the film. Number two, the micro-boundary violations. Can you think of the last time you talked to someone passive-aggressive? And it's like one comment after another and you're kind of ticked off, but you let it slide because you don't want to ruin the whole vibe? Well, that's kind of what Creep's about. I think it's kind of like a psychological study about how someone that you don't know and you're starting to learn and figure out, you kind of allow them to get away with a lot more than you'd like. In the film, the Creep's name is Yosef. Yosef gets away with a lot of things that just would not fly on most days.
That's me. Yeah.
He's emotionally manipulative, he reveals his emotions and kind of uses it as a crutch, but with darker intention to kind of get you to sympathize with him.
I don't want to die.
He asks a lot of personal questions that, again, is kind of normal at first, but gets really creepy pretty quickly.
This is great, huh? Two guys having some whiskeys. It's really great, man. What a great day, you know?
And the beautiful part about it is there was no sudden danger in the film. No, the danger was very carefully and slowly led on. It was truly an experience for the audience to understand what it's like to be coerced or brainwashed or even just trapped. And then the third thing was the fact that they allowed Yosef to play with so many different characters. There's scenes where Yosef is childlike and playful. There's scenes where Yosef is charming and charismatic. There's even scenes where Yosef is very dangerous and harmful and scary. In a way, this film was actually comedy and horror combined into one genre. Again, Paranormal Activity, a film that's very kind of static and waiting and waiting and waiting. He took the best part of that film and made something completely new, something that we had never seen before. I actually prefer Creep over Paranormal Activity any day of the week. So let me know in the comments if you are a Paranormal Activity stan or you're rocking with Creep. And number 4, this film literally had 2 characters. As a matter of fact, the people that actually shot this film was just 2 characters. One person was filming and the other was, in front of the camera and acting. But there was no crew. This was actually a 0 crew film other than the camera guy and the actor, which truthfully hasn't really been done before that many times, at least to this level of success. I, for one, would love to see more films trying to test the boundaries and go for creative ventures like this. I think Mark Duplass in this film taught us one really valuable lesson, that at the end of the day, if you have the ambition and creative drive to create something, that you can do it. A lot of us are waiting for the perfect time to get the money or get the opportunity, to go do that thing. But he made it onto Netflix, got a sequel, won awards, and finished a feature-length film completely on a shitty, cheap handheld camera. At the end of the day, guys, it's all about what you're willing to do, what you're willing to risk to make something that you care about. Let me know in the comments if you've ever watched the movie Creep. Let me know in the comments if you like the movie Creep. And as always, guys, take it easy. Until next time, guys, peace out.